you shower and hope that's enough to prevent BO all day. Instead of crossing my fingers, I now use Mando whole body deodorant. Showering removes odor, but because of the high pH in soap, your body odor is going to come back with a vengeance. By lowering your skin's pH, Mando helps to keep your body smelling fresh for longer. Mando is clinically proven to help control odor for up to 72 hours. So start using Mando whole body deodorant anywhere for long-lasting odor control. Here's the deal. All new customers get $5 off Mando's best-selling starter pack. Just use the code Chael at shopmando.com. I personally love how many options Mando offers. Mando is available in solid sticks, invisible cream, body wash, cleaning bars, and deodorant wipes for use on the go. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code Chael at shopmando.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Or just click on the link below. Let's hear it, guys, right here. Let's hear it for the man. Right there, Corey Sandhagen. Corey, he got big news. Sandhagen is going to take on Nurmagomedov. Now, that is a disaster of a matchup for Sandhagen and for Nurmagomedov. Like, that is a really, really hard night out. And one thing that they need to do, and I think that the whole world's aligning for them to do it, is just to make sure that that's a number 1 contenders match. Like, that's one of those fights. Nobody wants to fight Nurmagomedov. Nobody wants to fight Sandhagen. They're as high ranked as they can be, right? They get these beautiful undefeated records only to be surpassed by mine. They should get a little something for it. 135 pounds is wildly complicated. And I'm one of the guys helping to complicate it. And you want to know why? Because I like Jose Aldo for a world title fight. Yeah, and I got a big voice. And when I am a guy and I've got a big voice, I can't go around saying stupid things. I got to get them right. Now, I'm not demanding that Jose get the shot, and I'm not even suggesting for you, or at least from a prediction standpoint, that he is going to get the shot. I'm telling you, and I'll say it a second time, I like him for one. I like it. It kind of reminds me of one of my old mentors, Dan Henderson. And Dan Henderson, you got to spot him a whole nother decade on Jose. He was 47 years old when he went into a rematch against Bisping for the championship of the world on his last fight of his contract. There's just things the UFC doesn't do. You are not going to get a feature match on your last bout of your contract. Period, in the end. And Dan was in a very unique situation. He'd already been everywhere. He'd already fought everywhere else. He was 47. They weren't going to run him out there 3 more times, which would put him till he was 49. It was one of these things. He'd already had a win over Bisping. A lot of you thought that he was going to win. I mean, I'm just sharing. Like, it wasn't because the UFC thought they knew the outcome. It was the first and only time ever they were going to let a guy walk with their strap. And now you come and look at Jose Aldo. He also does not have a UFC contract. Jose Aldo didn't take his gloves off and put him down. But he didn't really need to. He didn't have a contract, right? So it's one of those things. He's made it clear to all of us, whether he won on Saturday or not, he was going to keep competing. He was still going to go into Nova Vignao. He's still going to work with Andre Pederneiras. He's still going to go out there and throw them hands. How good did Jose look? How good did he look? Because, guys, you could give me examples of old dogs that came back and, wow, they surprised everybody. Not always win, but they went out and had a great performance, okay? Jose not only had a great performance, he won. He not only won, he won every part of that fight. He won the punching part and the kicking part. He won the conditioning and the walk him down part. He won the wrestling and he won the scrambling part. He won all 3 rounds. You do not find guys that come back later in life, okay? They love to say that power is the first thing. Power is the last thing we lose. Now, I'll tell you right now, there's no truth to that. Those are the words of a dum-dum. But a lot of people say it. It is an expression that is around, and I'll tell you what the first thing you lose is your footwork, your speed. You lose your jaw. You guys see that, right? An older guy comes back, boom, and he falls down. Maybe Chuck Liddell, who I do not want to give a hard time to, but in Tito, with that punch, right, really, really light punch, and man, all the way asleep. So you understand, from a little bit of the scientific standpoint, your legs your legs and how strong they are greatly affects the ability for you to take a shot and go down or not. So as you get a little bit older, it's not that the mass, it's not even that your one rep max on a power clean, I apologize, on the squat rack would go down. It's when you can't train as hard, those legs become weaker. When you can't jump as many rounds of rope, when you can't float around that ring all by yourself, shadow boxing, floating 45 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes at a time. When you're not up getting anywhere from 3 to 7 miles in twice a week and getting 2 miles in every day a week that aren't those days of the week. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Those will make your legs weak. That'll affect your ability to take a shot. None of those things happened to Jose. How come? How come? How come he was so strong? How come he was able to make 135 pounds after years of not making 135 pounds? Nobody gave him credit for that. Nobody gave any focus to the mere fact that he got back to 135. Talking about he's the greatest, he's the king, he's in the Hall of Fame. He is all of those things as a featherweight. This was down, and I never really realized what murderer's row he faced. Like, off the top of my head, I just can't close my eyes and picture some Jose fights. Even the ones that didn't go well, I'm picturing in there with Volkanovski. I'm picturing in there with Max Holloway. I'm picturing him in there with Peter Young. All of a sudden, I'm realizing, my goodness. No, RDA has had the hardest schedule of anybody to ever do this sport. Boy, Jose's got to be right up there with him. He's got to be right up there. On an easy day, they bring him into his home country to get him a standing O while wearing a crown. Oh, by the way, against the number 12 guy in the world. That was an easy day. By his schedule, this is remarkable. I don't think 135 pounds has done a wonderful job. When I look, we love the guy. We're disclosing. We are disclosing. We love Sandhagen over here, don't we? We sure as heck respect Umar Nurmagomedov, the family, and everything that they've done. But don't we? Truthfully, right? We're arguing that should be a number 1 contenders match, but we're the first. How come Umar hasn't said it? How come Corey hasn't said it? How come they haven't convinced the promotion to lock in on it? And while you're sitting there and telling me, of course that's the number 1 contenders match and there'll be no way to hide. And if they ever do try to hide, that's just Sean O'Malley trying to get an easy fight. Really? You think you're going to pin that on Sean O'Malley, who's getting ready to fight Merab, who just got done fighting Cheeto, who in between called out Ilia Topuria? Really? You think you're going to pin the scared button on that guy? Good luck with that. Because while these two get ready for each other, and see, they'll make a mistake. The way you pick a fight and promoter fight is not the same thing. And if you've attended Bad Guy University, you've got a pretty good understanding for that. But our boy right here, Sandhagen, and Nurmagomedov will make a mistake, which is in the very limited media time that they're given as this fight comes, they will talk about each other. Okay, so as they're doing that, there's nothing building against O'Malley or Merab. In the meanwhile, O'Malley is going to use his Merab airtime to talk about Jose Aldo. And that is where you have a very different scenario. That is where all of a sudden Jose is being talked about. He does have the mandate. Talk about deserve it. Talk about beating awesome guys. No question. Nurmagomedov completely undefeated. It's got to be a pretty high ranking. You want, wow, undefeated, beating all the right guys. Wow, that's strong, right? Yeah, try that on. Opposite, a former world champion and current Hall of Famer. So, okay, don't get into paper with me here. Do not start getting into paper and start getting into stats opposite Jose Aldo. I realize it's a reach by me, but it's a reach that's very possible. But you need 3 people to make it happen. We need this guy, Sandhagen, talking about Nurmagomedov. We need Nurmagomedov talking about Sandhagen. And we need Sean O'Malley to pick his next opponent. And if he wants it to be Aldo, all he's got to do is start talking about it.